My name is Jess Eaton, and I originally started off with my life as a makeup artist, and I did that for 20 years in the music business, then had a baby. I came back to Britain, and there was no industry for makeup at the level that I had been working at, because I worked basically just with celebrities, and I wasn't prepared just to do wedding makeups. So I started doing couture, and I opened up my own shop, had my own fashion line. It was very successful. You know, for what it was a really great project. But at the same time, I never stopped doing makeup, and a lot of people who knew me before I went away knew the sort of work, the level that I was working at, and it started happening that people would say to me, "Oh, it's my sister's 50th and she's been through a hard time. Would you give her a bit of a makeover, make her feel better?" So I started doing it, and I realised, wow, this is really powerful, because having worked in there's different sorts of makeup. There's decorative makeup, and then there's makeup that creates an optical illusion. If you're working with models, they're already beautiful. You're just decorating that beautiful face. I was working with artists, and often you get someone who has a fantastic voice that isn't as beautiful as maybe even the dancers in her group, and they need all the help that they can get. And I'm very good at turning normal people, making them look much, much better. Hence the fact that I kept getting booked in the music business, and that's where I learned to do what I do. So when I would get these requests here in Brighton, I realised that there's a different. I could carry on working as a makeup artist, but in a different capacity, helping women, because by that time I was also an older woman, and you don't know what it's like until it happens to you. You don't know. You don't realise how devastating it is getting old. It really is quite awful, and you suddenly become invisible. It's just the weirdest thing, and for whatever reason, you get to that point, whether it's aging or you've been at home for 20 years with children and suddenly you find yourself back out in the workforce, or whatever it is, a lot of people struggle with it. And even women who realise that what they were doing when they were in their 20s doesn't work anymore, or they didn't do anything in their 20s, but now they're looking a bit rough. So there are all sorts of reasons. Anyway, I kept on getting these requests from all different people, and realised that I was onto something. So I have discovered, I've created what I call makeup therapy, because it is very therapeutic, and I really believe that makeup can absolutely set you free, because it can absolutely change how you feel about yourself. I have women who look in the mirror, and I've done very minimal things to them, but they say, "Oh my God, it's me again. I can't believe it. There I am. Wow, that's amazing." So it's about finding the you that you are now. That's the most important thing. And the nice thing about this, and this is what I always emphasize to my clients, and what people don't really usually think about, in our society, we are biological creatures. Whether we like it or not, we judge each other within seconds of meeting each other. How somebody presents themselves shows an awful lot about themselves, whether they have self-esteem, whether they're competent, whether they're capable, whether they're managing their life okay, or whether they're run down, overwhelmed, all that sort of thing. And good-looking people, or people who look like they're in control, are treated better than those who aren't. So it's a double-sided sword. Not only do you feel better, but people react differently to you. And it's awful, because we're intellectual creatures, so it shouldn't be, but we react on a base level, and good-looking people have a better life. And that is the bottom line. It's really, the whole thing is so interesting, and I have found this journey that I've been on an absolute revelation. I actually read a blog. It was in one of those adverts, how to look great over 40, and yesterday online, and I disagreed with every single thing the woman said. You shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. Rubbish. There's all sorts of stuff you can do. Okay, you have to work around the wrinkles and stuff. You can't wear foundation like you used to be. You want to keep it more natural as far as your skin goes. But you can see from the way I look, I've really upped it a notch with the eye makeup, because I find joy in it, and I find it exciting, and it's great fun. And a lot of my clients, I say, go out and find some colour, a bright red lipstick, something that brings the joy and vibrancy back. I mean, it's different for everybody, and I never treat clients the same. It's always absolutely individual to their particular look. Some people have strong mouths, some people have strong eyes. It's completely different. Also, personalities are very different. I've always loved makeup. I've always been a bit of a dolly bird, but there were phases where I was more natural and phases where I was less natural. My sister, for instance, she's always been very, very natural, and she got divorced, and she was in her mid-40s, and we did a session, and excuse my dog snoring, and I did a makeover for her and designed her a look. First of all, I did her eyebrows, which are very, very crucial, and I'll talk about that in a minute actually, but I just actually gave her a very natural eye and a bright pink lipstick, and she looks amazing. She looks smashing. It's taken years off her, and she looks pretty, flirtatious, even though she's turning 50 this year. So, you know, it's an amazing thing. There's an awful value in having that freedom. My work is very, very natural. And the reason I trained was because I hated semi-permanent makeup. I thought it was ghastly, absolutely awful. The women always looked awful, till I realised that it was sort of beauticians doing it. People with no artistic ability, and it's really bizarre because there is no criteria. If you go and train as a semi-permanent makeup artist or a cosmetic tattooist, there's no criteria that you actually are artistic, which is quite scary. But I thought, with my long experience as a makeup artist, I owe it to my clients really to give them a safe address where they can come and get their brows done or whatever. And it's wonderful. It's a revelation. I mean, I was the first person that I tattooed my own brows. And even though mine are sort of quite stylish, I actually work very, very naturally and do hair stroke brows, and it changes people's lives. It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. It means that you can wake up in the morning, you can do sports, you can go to the gym, and you've always got eyebrows, because the eyebrows are one thing that do go when you get old. I work with people who have cancer, people who have alopecia, all sorts of different stuff. But it's one more tool, if you like, to looking great and being free. There is actually a phenomena. The makeup industry never goes out of business. It's always affluent. And there's a reason for it. It's called the lipstick effect. And there have been studies done in time of depression, when people have no money. They, rather than getting a new kitchen or going on an expensive holiday, they will buy themselves a lipstick. And it boosts their mood. It's instant gratification, but instant effect also. You make other people smile. It's a sort of immediate feel-good factor. And that is actually a thing. It's called the lipstick effect. And it's, as I say, we are now in a time of depression and misery. And there has never been a better time to invest in yourself. It costs relatively little money, but it's a very good investment, because if you can boost your mood, everything else around you falls into place. As I said, people react differently to you. Things start happening. It's really interesting. I had this woman come to me. Actually, it was a friend of mine, his wife. She was depressed. And he bought her a makeup session with me, a therapy session, to boost her self-esteem. And I loved this woman, and it made such. She's got 3 children, one of them severely handicapped. She's a young woman, and I tattooed her eyebrows for free because I just wanted to reach her. And I saw her again a year later, and they'd been struggling terribly. We were living in poverty, and life was really hard. Saw her a year later, and she was a different person, and she was applying for housing and this and that, and she really, it was the mood, the aura around this woman was completely different. And she said it all started with the eyebrows. She said, I felt so different about myself. I carried myself differently. I just had different energy. People started reacting different to me. Doors started opening. And even though it sounds sort of magical, it really does happen like that. It's the most bizarre thing. So as far when people say to me, oh, it's trivial, it's this and that, absolute nonsense. It's extremely valuable. And there is nothing more important than how you feel. You cannot be a good parent if you're feeling bad. You can't be good at your job. And I actually say to people, I have 10 minutes in the morning. My son, I've trained him. He knows. I say, I'm going off duty now, darling. Do you want anything before I go? I have 10 minutes. It's my time. It is my time. And it's self-love. It's self-care. I touch base with myself. It's 10 minutes where I concentrate on myself. I compose myself for the day, and it makes me invincible. And I've done it my whole life. It grounds you. It's sort of making yourself valuable. That is the most important thing. You have to value yourself. So people who are critical of people who like makeup or people in the cosmetic industry, they don't understand. They don't understand the power. Maybe they're people who neglect themselves. A lot of women, they put other people first. Their children, their husbands, and they neglect themselves. And I say to them, you must stop that right now, because actually you'd be better for them if you took that time for yourself. That is the way it is. So that's the first lesson when I'm teaching also, is where do you do your makeup? What's your space like? Do you value it? Is it a nice place to sit in? Have you got good lighting? Do you like your products? I have wipes and I clean mine. I love my space. That's my little oasis. And that's so important. People, my clients say, oh, no, I'm standing in the mirror, sort of, I haven't actually got a little table. I just do it in the bathroom, this and that, while I'm making the lunches for my sons. And I think, no, that is going to end in disaster. You have to take time for yourself because everybody's valuable. And when you realise that, everything else falls into place.
Oh my God, this is it's so powerful.
Oh, God, I'm pleased.
It really is.
Very pleased. Yes, he's getting snuggles. Oh, this is the most delightful soul.